What is the Devil's Quran and how was it discovered? The Devil's Quran is a purported 18th-century manuscript originally titled Quran Ash-Shaitan, meaning the Devil's Quran, discovered in Iraq. It was acquired by Martinet Press in autumn 2011 through a freelance journalist returning from Iraq who sold them photos of a manuscript facsimile. Initially, it appeared to be a standard antique copy of the Quran, starting with canonical suras like Al-Fatiha and Al-Baqarah. However, it quickly deviates into 10 non-canonical suras that present a theology and cosmology radically inverted from orthodox Islam. What is the central theological inversion in the Devil's Quran? The central theological inversion is that Shaitan, referred to as the Nameless God, is presented as the supreme divine entity, holding precedence over Allah, who is called the Blind One. This challenges the traditional Islamic hierarchy by portraying Allah as a lesser, finite deity who emerged from primordial darkness. The text describes a dualistic universe born from the conflict between this blind one, light, limitation, logos, and the nameless God, darkness, chaos. What are the children in the Devil's Quran, and how are they portrayed? The children refer to the pantheon of spirits under the nameless God, Shaitan. This includes the three pre-Islamic goddesses, Allat, Manat, and Al-Uzza, reimagined as Shaitan's daughters and consorts, with Allat as the mother to monsters, planetary spirits, Shams, sun, Qamar, moon, Atarid, Mercury, Zohra, Venus, Marikh, Mars, Mushtari, Jupiter, and Zuhal, Saturn, as well as jinn, Ghul, and Afrit. They are described as powerful entities to whom devotees should offer gifts, invoke for aid, and even invite to dwell within themselves for spiritual transformation and power, though this may lead to sickness and madness. How do the practices prescribed in the Devil's Quran differ from orthodox Islamic rituals? The Devil's Quran prescribes numerous inversions of standard Islamic practices. For instance, daily prayers are performed 3 times a day, sunset, midnight, and sunrise, facing north instead of towards the Kaaba in Mecca, and involve prostrating while saying, "Glory to Shaitan." The text also details specific blood sacrifices, minor and major, involving animals or the devotee's own blood, poured to the north, acts of desecration using blood, ashes, and filth to anoint the body or burn books of the blind one, and even advises on fornication as a means of transgression and communion. What is the concept of spiritual concealing or espionage, taqiyya, in the text? Taqiyya, or spiritual concealing or espionage, is advice for believers to hide their practices and outwardly conform to the rituals and beliefs of their enemies, Muslims or Christians. This is deemed necessary because the Shaitanic current is expected to operate in a hostile environment where devil worship or witchcraft are outlawed. The text emphasizes cunning and subterfuge as virtues, encouraging believers to wear the cross or crescent to mock the enemy and sow enmity between them, while treating other true believers as their own flesh and blood. How does the Devil's Quran reinterpret Abrahamic prophets? The text directly assaults and reinterprets Abrahamic prophets like Moses, Muhammad, Jesus, and David, portraying them in blasphemous or derogatory ways to undermine orthodox faith and promote Shaitanic supremacy. For example, Moses is depicted as a snake and traitor whose body was seized by Shaitan's servants after death. Muhammad is mocked for his polygamy and child bride, while Jesus is accused of delighting only in the company of young men and boys and being perverted, leading to his crucifixion by the elders and the Romans. David is called a murderer and an enemy to his own, who is now in great fear because his God abandoned him. What is the eschatology presented in the Devil's Quran, particularly regarding the Avenger? The text includes a prophecy of the end times, where a diabolical Messiah figure known as the Avenger, identified with the Islamic Dajjal, will appear. This anointed one will have the spirit of the nameless within him and will bring war and terror, smashing the houses of the blind one. During this time, the lords of the planets will descend, the Kaaba will be destroyed, and the Avenger will unite the children and the faithful. The ultimate outcome is the utter destruction of the blind one's forces, consumed by black flames, and the establishment of Shaitan's kingdom on earth. What is the promised reward for believers in the Shaitanic kingdom? The ultimate reward promised to believers in the Shaitanic kingdom, as described in Surah Al-Arsh, is a profound transformation. After death, their spirit descends to the throne of fire, where they are given new flesh, undying and tireless, with bones and sinews of steel. This new body is described with skin hard as bronze and pale as the snows of Mazandaran, and jet as the black stone. They are crowned with iron, wreathed in robes of jet and jade, and scepters of iron shall be set into their hands, ultimately becoming as even as the children, and dwelling in citadels with gardens and pavilions of delight, alongside pleasant mates.